Hey everyone, I thank you for tuning into my channel again and taking the time to hear my ramblings. Um, so right now I am continuing on with my bone broth, my chicken bone broth, and I'm kind of getting things in there. And as I do that, I was thinking it would be a good opportunity to talk about what is on my mind regarding um, this particular question, and that is, should children be made to eat what they're given? And let me clarify from the beginning, I'm not talking about things that your children are allergic to. Say eat it. Someone gave it to you, you gotta eat it. No. I'm not talking about when you're home. I have 3 children, and I know that my daughter does not prefer peanut butter. She's not allergic to peanut butter, but she doesn't prefer peanut butter. She'll just eat a jelly sandwich, and I don't care. That doesn't bother me. You know, um, my youngest is allergic to peanut butter. He's allergic to peanuts, so of course I'm not gonna make him eat it because that's the kind of sandwich that I choose to make on that particular day. No, I'm talking about the child who has a full-blown problem with eating the carrot that I may have put on their plate. So I think that when we are bringing up our children, we need to take these things into consideration for the future, because I know that I wouldn't want a grown person, coming to my house looking at what has been prepared for dinner like it's the strangest thing around when it's just basic ingredients. Um, so I know chances are you guys wouldn't appreciate that either. But we're training our children up to be adults, and you want your children to be content. You want them to be grateful for what they've been given. Um, God forbid any of us fall on hard times where we can't afford to get those things that we typically enjoy, whether it's just a particular brand of something, or you may have to eat a little bit more beans than you guys normally eat, but that's what you can afford to get. You don't want your child to be discontent and ungrateful for the fact that food has been provided for them, but it's not what they like. You don't want your child, not only do you not want to be the one that receives that child or adult into your home that's not content or liking what you have prepared for them, but you don't want that child to be your child. If someone just comes and, not comes, excuse me, if you go to someone's house and they prepare chicken and it's just regular old baked chicken, sauteed chicken, or however simple as it can be, not bland, seasoned well, all of those kinds of things, you don't want to defend that kind of behavior either. I mean, can you imagine someone saying, "Oh, my child, she doesn't eat chicken," um, unless it's battered and fried and the last ingredient on the list. It's ridiculous even to say that. It is. We want our children to understand that food is necessary. Food is a privilege. It's necessary for our body, but we live in a world where we can come by it easily. We can. Not everyone has as much as the next man. There are people here in the United States who aren't eating. Yes, I understand that. But if you look at other worlds and what the food that they have or don't have, it is a privilege. It is a privilege, needless to say. And food is given to us for our well-being. So even with that said, I know for me, I don't know about some of y'all, but for me, I don't just wake up skinny, okay? That skinny is not who I am. I have relatives who are, and that's just how the Lord made them. But for me, it's work, and I'm not skinny, and I don't try and be skinny either. I'm not trying to get back to where I used to be, but I know skinny and me don't look right. So, needless to say, you don't want your child, girl or boy, to grow up with those same habits that we may or may not have had when we were younger, where you're just accustomed to eating certain things that aren't good for you, those unhealthy options. I know when I had my first job in 12th grade, I remember getting paid for the first time. And the first thing that I did was take my friends out to eat. Food stayed on my mind. So when our children get old enough where they can buy their own food, you want to start bringing them up from now to make the right decisions, not just what they feel like having, but what is good for them, because you don't want them going through the same struggles that you have had. So needless to say, it's a good thing, in my opinion, to train your children up to eat what they're given, be grateful for what they're given, and know that those extra things are privileges. They're not necessary. One thing that my husband and I did with our children, and we haven't had to do it in a long time, so that kind of just tells you, am I finished with this? I think I am. That tells you that it worked for us. Sorry, that's my pressure cooker. Yeah. When our children didn't want what they were given for dinner, or whatever meal it was, it carried over to the next meal, and to the next meal, and to the next meal, until it was gone. They are still alive. They did not starve to death. They lived. It was work. It was a headache. But we all survived, and they have learned to eat what they are given. And they've learned very quickly that just because it didn't taste good for breakfast, it's not going to taste any better for lunch. It's not going to taste any better for dinner, and especially not going to taste any better for the following breakfast. They learn quick. So, if your child is a very picky eater, and again, I'm talking about general, everyone has their details. But if your child's a very picky eater, don't always run to their defense, but think about training them up to be the adults that you want them to be, not to look at food as something that entertains them, but something that does well for their body, and to trust their parents, knowing that we are looking out for their best interest, and they are to obey and to do all things without grumbling and complaining. So I hope that this helps you guys. If you have any questions, let me know what you think. I really want to know what your views are in regards to making children eat what they're given. I know some people don't want to fight. To me, it's worth it in the short. So in the long run, they'll be better at it. So thanks for listening to my ramblings, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.